All right, good morning. Thanks for joining our webinar today. I'm Scott Spatz, and today we're here to talk a little bit about AI. We're going to talk about some best practices. We're going to talk about AI adoption and how to take a methodical approach to implementing in your business. So we've been talking quite a bit lately with our clients about having the proper foundation prior to deploying AI in their businesses. And it's a really important first step in your AI journey, which is why we're here hosting this webinar today. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to assess your readiness, how to implement practical solutions, and how to ensure, security really importantly, and integrity of your data along the way. And then also how to get your leadership team to adopt and promote AI from within your organization. So it's going to be some great content. Just a couple housekeeping items before we get started. If you guys want to use the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen to submit any questions you may have, we'll take some time at the end of the webinar to answer questions, but you can submit them throughout the webinar. And then when we get to that point, we'll answer those questions. So with that, I'll hand it off to my partner, Bob DeLisa, the founder of Kupsys and our resident director of AI solutions. Bob, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Scott. All right. You guys can all see
Yep.
my face here. How are you? Thanks everyone for joining today. So the slide is great. The marketing team put together this beautiful slide, and it's got all the right buzzwords. But honestly, I'm more of an analogy guy. So let's talk about learning to ride a bike. Remember that? You're wobbling around, gripping the handlebars like your life depended on it, convinced you're going to eat pavement. Meanwhile, your older siblings are zooming past you, doing wheelies, and you're thinking, man, I really need to figure this out. You know it'll be faster than walking once you nail it. You just haven't quite mastered the whole not falling over part yet. And nobody warns you about how much the learning process involves your shins meeting the pedals at high velocity. AI adoption, it's pretty much the same deal. Today, we're going to help you figure out if your organization is ready to hop on this bike, how to adopt AI without wiping out on your first turn, how to stay secure and compliant while you're learning, why human oversight is still your training wheels, and most importantly, how to get your managers and team actually excited about this instead of hiding in the supply closet. So let's just go ride a bike, and just maybe with less shin damage this time. All right, quick poll time. Don't worry. I promise it won't be like high school where I call on you. Who here has employees using ChatGPT or other AI tools at work? Go ahead and raise your hands. Any hands? Okay. Next question. Who has a written policy for how they should be using it? Lower your hand if you don't have a policy. See, there it is. It's exactly what we were thinking, much less than there should be. So here's what's actually happening. AI adoption is spreading through your company like wildfire, or maybe more accurately, like someone brought donuts to the break room. It's fast, it's everywhere, and nobody asked permission first. But without formal policies, you've essentially handed your employees a powerful tool with zero instruction manual. And that's how you end up with your sales team accidentally feeding your entire customer database into ChatGPT, or worse, training on AI on your proprietary processes that then get shared with everyone else using the same platform. So today we're focusing on the unsexy but absolutely critical part, establishing a framework for safe, strategic AI use. Think of it as the how to not accidentally put your company's confidential data on the internet guide. Let's talk about practical readiness. Before we let anyone hop on that AI bike, we do a readiness check. Think of it like a pre-flight inspection, except instead of checking the tires and brakes, we're looking at your policies, security setup, and whether your team actually knows what they're doing or just winging it. Here's the thing. Most companies have zero clear AI guidelines, like literally nothing written down. So we help you figure out the basics. What's safe to feed into AI and what's absolutely not? Who's actually responsible when things go sideways? And how do we handle sensitive data without accidentally sharing our client list with the internet? But here's the part that actually matters. We talk to your employees directly, not just management, the actual people who will be using these tools every day. Why? Because all the fancy policies in the world won't help if your team is either A, terrified AI is coming for their job, or B, secretly using ChatGPT to write client emails without telling anyone. Tackling fears head on, explaining the guardrails clearly, and actually boosting people's confidence, that's what makes AI adoption work. Not another 47-slide policy deck that nobody reads. Look, winning with AI isn't just about buying the shiniest new tool. It's about three things: people, process, and policy. The PPP framework, if you want to get fancy about it. Your team needs to actually understand what they're doing. Your workflows need some structure, so it's not just chaos. And your policies need to be clear enough that people actually follow them instead of nodding along in meetings and then doing whatever they want anyway. Here's what happens when you ignore one of these. Skip the people part, projects stall because nobody knows how to use the tools. Skip the process part, you get 17 different departments doing 17 different things with zero coordination. Skip the policy part, hello, compliance nightmare and potential data breach. The magic happens when all three work together. But here's the kicker. You got to tackle your weakest link first. Maybe your team is tech savvy, but you have zero documented processes. Or maybe you got great policies, but your people are terrified of change. Every business has a different mix. There's no one size fits all approach here. Think about it. When you rolled out your CRM or moved to the cloud or implemented any major technology, did you just flip a switch? No. You dealt with people, process, and policy. So why would AI be any different? Let's dive into how to make AI deployment actually work in the real world, not in some consultant's fantasy land. When we help clients adopt AI, we're not trying to boil the ocean. We start with Microsoft Copilot because, frankly, it's already sitting inside the tools you use every day: Word, Excel, Outlook, Teams. Your IT team doesn't have to learn some brand new platform, and it's actually secure and manageable. Novel concept, right? So we start with phase P, preparation. Yep, that's phase 0. Before we flip any switches, we make sure your data house is in order. Think of it like childproofing before the toddler starts walking. Way easier to do it before something breaks. We set up basic governance, use Microsoft Purview for data protection, and enable monitoring so you can actually see what's happening. This keeps your information safe, compliant, and not accidentally floating around the internet. And hey, by being here today, you've already started this phase. That's a gold star for you. All right, phase 1, start small. The easy wins phase. Instead of trying to transform your entire business on day 1, we focus on stuff that takes 30 seconds to learn, saves time immediately, and doesn't make anyone panic. Like what? Draft better emails in Outlook. Stop staring at that blank screen. Summarize long documents in Word. Turn that 47-page report into here's what matters. Quick reports in Excel. No formulas, no crying. Generate meeting notes in Teams because someone always forgets to take notes. These are simple everyday tasks that make people think, oh, that's what AI can do for me. Phase 2, expand gradually, build the momentum. Once your team stops side-eyeing the AI and starts asking, what else can it do? That's when we expand. Creating proposal templates, automating the boring stuff nobody wants to do anyway. Build quick dashboards that actually make sense. The goal? Keep building confidence and value one step at a time. No overwhelming anyone. Phase 3, advanced capabilities and the cool stuff, right? Custom workflows, specialized automation, the fancy features that make you look like a tech wizard. But here's the thing. We only get here after proving value with the basics because nobody cares about advanced capabilities if they can't even get the simple stuff working. Why this approach? Because I've seen what happens when companies skip the basics. They spend a fortune, roll out some massive AI initiative. Everyone's confused. Nothing works the way they hoped. And 6 months later, it's abandoned. Starting small, learning as you go, and building on actual success, that's what sets you up for long-term wins instead of expensive regrets. Let's talk about security and compliance. I know, everyone's favorite topic. But here's the deal. This isn't optional. You can't just wing it and hope for the best. The good news, Microsoft actually provides a pretty solid system for data governance, labeling, policies, the whole nine yards. The bad news, it doesn't magically configure itself. You need a clear roadmap, and you need to actually understand where your data lives. Is it in SharePoint? Is it scattered across old file servers? Buried in your line of business apps that haven't been updated since 2012? Yeah, we need to know. Here's what we do when we work with clients. Step one, classify your data, also known as know what you're dealing with. We sort everything into buckets. Public, whatever, put it on a billboard. Internal, for employees only, but not earth-shattering if it leaks. Confidential, that's client data, financials, that's the stuff that keeps you up at night. And then UUI, which stands for uncontrolled, unclassified information. That's the gray area stuff. And here's the golden rule. Confidential data never goes into AI tools, period. Not ChatGPT, not anything. UUI and internal data, those can go into enterprise AI, but only with proper controls in place. We're not playing fast and loose here. Step two, run BCDR tabletop exercises. That's a mouthful. It stands for business continuity and disaster recovery. The translation, we simulate something going wrong so your team actually knows what to do instead of panicking and calling everyone in a group text at 2 a.m. The AI accidentally exposed client data. What do? Someone fed proprietary information into ChatGPT. Now what? Your team needs to know the playbook before it's game time. Step three, map AI use to compliance requirements. When the auditors show up, and they will, you need to be able to explain your AI usage without breaking into a cold sweat. We help you document everything so you can actually answer the questions like, how do you ensure HIPAA compliance with AI tools? Or show me your data retention policies for AI-generated content. Why does this matter? Because secure, compliant, and resilient AI adoption means you can actually sleep at night instead of wondering if today's the day something blows up. Here's the thing about AI that nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to understand. AI can be confidently wrong, like spectacularly wrong, with zero hesitation. It'll tell you 2 + 2 = 5 and act like it just solved world hunger. Sorry. It'll invent facts that sound completely plausible. Dates, statistics, entire historical events that never happened. It'll generate a gorgeous, professional-looking document with a catastrophic error buried right in the middle, and it won't even blink. That's why human oversight is non-negotiable. So the FDE accelerator, it's also known as Trust But Verify. So at Coopsys, we run a program called the FDE Accelerator, which stands for Forward Deployed Engineers. It's a fancy name for a simple concept. We train our technical staff and our clients' teams to review every AI output before it goes out the door. The rule's dead simple. AI does the heavy lifting, the grunt work, the first draft, the boring stuff nobody wants to do. Humans make the final call, always. Now, I know what you're thinking. Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose? If I have to review everything anyway, why use AI at all? It's a good question. Here's the truth. Editing is still way faster than starting from scratch. AI does 80 to 90% of the work in a fraction of the time. You spend maybe 10 to 20% of the original time reviewing and refining. You're still 5 to 8 times faster. You're just not blindly trusting a machine that occasionally decides to make stuff up. Here's a real example. There's a network that never was. It's a little story here. It actually happened recently. One of our forward deployed engineers used AI to generate a network diagram for a client. The AI crushed it. Beautiful layout, proper notation, professional as hell. Looked perfect. Except it included an entire network segment that didn't exist. just made it up. Instead invented a whole subnet out of thin air. Complete fabrication. Our engineer caught it during a review because he actually understood the network. He knew what was real and what wasn't. But what if he just trusted the AI and sent it straight to the client? Best case scenario, professional embarrassment. Hey, Bob, what's this 10.50 network you documented? We don't have that. Worst case scenario, the client makes infrastructure changes based on incorrect documentation and causes an outage. That's a $50,000 mistake at a minimum, caught by 5 minutes of human review. The bottom line, human review isn't bureaucracy. It's not red tape. It's not some annoying extra step to slow you down. It's insurance against expensive errors that sound really, really convincing. If you're a business leader or a manager, the next few minutes are for you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. AI adoption is not a technology project. It's a change management project, and it lives or dies based on leadership. You can have perfect tools, bulletproof policies, enterprise security, and it will all fail if leadership doesn't actually lead. I've watched this happen enough times to feel annoyingly confident about it. At Koopsis, what we've done is develop the manager's playbook for AI adoption. It's based on our internal training and client implementations where things went sideways until we fixed the leadership piece. Let me share 4 strategies that actually work. Strategy 1, model the behavior or admit you're a hypocrite. If you want your team to use AI, you have to use it yourself, publicly, visibly. In meetings, say, I use Copilot to draft this agenda. Save me 15 minutes. When you send emails, mention, AI helped me write this, but I reviewed it because I'm responsible for what I sent. Why? Because employees watch what you do, not what you say. If you're telling them to use AI, but they never see you use it, they assume it's corporate theater. And they're right. If you think AI is overhyped and you're just humoring the consultant, your team knows. So either get on board or be honest and let someone else champion it. Fake enthusiasm is worse than honest skepticism. Strategy 2, celebrate small wins loudly. When someone uses AI effectively, celebrate it. Sarah used AI to cut our monthly reporting time by 40%. That's 6 hours back per month. That's impressive. Do this in Teams meetings, in Teams, Slack, wherever your team actually pays attention. Success breeds success. When people see colleagues winning with AI, they think, maybe I should try that, instead of, this seems risky. Strategy 3, gamification. It's optional but effective. We ran a competition internally. Who discovered the most useful AI applications in a month? Winner got a $50 gift card and recognition. Sounds silly? Maybe, but adoption went from 40% to 85% in about 2 months. And critically, they started teaching each other, which scaled way better than me training everyone. Your mileage may vary, but friendly competition accelerates adoption. Strategy 4, address fear directly. Some employees are terrified AI will take their jobs. Don't dismiss that fear. Address it honestly. Here's what I tell our team. AI will change how we work, not whether we work. The tedious stuff you hate, that gets automated. That frees you up for higher value work, strategy, relationships, creative problem solving. The people who learn to work with AI will be more valuable, not less. The people who refuse to adapt will struggle everywhere because this isn't going away. That's honest, not sugar-coated, not doom and gloom. Employees respect honesty more than corporate platitudes. And give people permission to experiment and fail. AI is new. Nobody's an expert. Make it safe to say, I tried this and it didn't work, without feeling stupid. Otherwise, people won't experiment, and you need experimentation to find what works. Fear kills adoption. Honest leadership defangs fear. All right, let's get practical. Where should you actually start with AI? This matrix shows you how to prioritize based on what we've seen work across dozens of clients. So we start in box 1 in the corner. That's where high value and easy to implement use cases occur, such as email drafting, meeting summaries, document templates, Excel analysis. This is where Koopsis can help clients directly. We do the governance and the security. We train your people. We support your pilot. The timeline is about 30 to 90 days. The investment, 5 to 25K. The ROI is weeks, not months. Meeting summaries alone save our clients 2 to 3 hours per person per week. Do the math on that across your organization. Box 2 is complex, high value, kind of future stuff. Custom Copilot agents, systems integrations, advanced analytics, manufacturing clients exploring quality control agents, banking clients looking at compliance monitoring, healthcare clients exploring clinical documentation assistance with heavy governance because we're talking about patient care. Full transparency. Coopsys doesn't build custom agents ourselves. What we do is make sure you're ready, security, governance, infrastructure, and connect you with partners who specialize in this. Why? Because companies that jump to box 2 without mastering box 1 fail about 80% of the time. Box 3 and 4, you don't have to waste your time. Box 3 is complex, low value stuff, automating tasks that happen once a quarter. It's not worth it. Box 4 is easy, but pointless. Things AI does poorly, like empathy and nuanced judgment. The pattern that works, start in box 1, prove value, get governance right, then explore box 2. That's it. That's the path. Okay, before we wrap up, let me save you some pain and money by sharing the 5 mistakes we see companies make repeatedly with AI adoption. Learn from other people's mistakes. It's cheaper. Okay. Mistake 1, training everyone at once. This is the rip the Band-Aid off approach. Schedule a company-wide AI training, 300 people show up, you blast through content for 90 minutes, everyone leaves confused. Nothing changes. Why? Because mass training causes mass confusion, not mass adoption. Start with 10 to 15 enthusiasts. Build momentum. Let success spread organically. Scale from there. Mistake 2, no baseline metrics. If you don't measure before AI, and you can't prove ROI after AI. Then your CFO asks, was this worth it? And you're left saying, we think so. People seem happy. That's not data. Measure time spent on key tasks now before you deploy anything. Otherwise, you're guessing, and guessing doesn't get budget approval. Mistake 3, IT will handle everything. IT handles the technology, provisioning access, security, troubleshooting. That's their job, and they're good at it. IT does not handle culture change, employee psychology, or convincing Bob in accounting that robots aren't coming for his job. That requires HR, operations, and leadership. Cross-functional team, not IT alone in a corner trying to fix people problems with technology solutions. Mistake 4, policies that nobody reads. Writing a beautiful 20-page AI policy and burying it in SharePoint is not the same as having a policy. A policy only works if people know about it and they understand it and they see leadership following it. Train it, reinforce it, model it, or it might as well not exist. Mistake 5, waiting for perfect clarity. While you're building the perfect 18-month AI roadmap and waiting for regulatory clarity, your competitors are learning by doing, and learning compounds. They're on iteration 5 while you're still on planning phase 1. Start small, learn fast, and adjust as you go. Done beats perfect. Avoid these 5 mistakes and you're ahead of 80% of businesses, which frankly isn't a high bar, but we'll take it. All right. I want to hear from you for a minute. All right. We've been talking at you about 20 minutes. So let's make this interactive. So I promise, I mean, hope that this will be easy. Please get out your phone cameras and link to the QR code shown on the next slide. I'm going to launch a quick poll. It takes 30 seconds and your answers actually help us tailor what we talk about in Q&A. Okay, poll question. What's your biggest barrier to AI adoption? Okay. While you're doing that, I'll read them. Skills. My team doesn't know how to use AI effectively. B, security. I'm worried about data breaches or compliance. C is culture. My team is resistant or scared. D is budget. I don't have resources to invest right now. E, I don't know where to start. Go ahead and vote. I'm giving you 20 seconds and another 20 seconds to answer, which is about, in Zoom times, about 45 minutes. All right. All right. I'm seeing, it looks like our winner is skills here. Yep. Skills gap is your biggest worry. Good news. AI literacy is learnable, and it's not as steep as a curve as you think. That's why we start with pilot programs and champions who can teach others. You don't need everyone to be an expert day one. You just need a few people, 10 to 15 is best, uh, about that many people to figure it out and then evangelize. Okay, and then don't know where to start. Well, I'll let me address that one. That's actually the easiest problem to solve, and it's why we built a 30-day action plan. It's literally a checklist. Day one, do this. Day two, do this. No PhD required. All right, great. Thank you for that engagement. All right, we're about 23 minutes in. Let me wrap up. Maybe a little bit further. The key takeaways. We might have to go a little bit over for Q&A. Things I want you to remember after you close, after we are finished and you close this tab and you go back to work. Takeaway one, assess readiness first. Don't skip the assessment. Policy, security posture, workforce skills. If you skip this, you're building on a shaky foundation. We offer readiness assessments. It's a shameless plug. But even if you do it yourself, do it. It saves time and money later. Takeaway two, phased adoption works. Everything else doesn't. Take the easy wins approach. Start with Microsoft Business Copilot for enterprise class data protection. Pilot with your enthusiasts. Learn what works, then scale. Companies that skip that phase one go straight to company-wide rollout. They fail about 80% of the time. Don't be a statistic. Takeaway three, security and compliance are non-negotiable. Classify your data. Know your UUI. Run tabletops. Be prepared for incidents before they happen. We'll figure it out if something goes wrong is not a plan. It's optimism masquerading as a plan. Takeaway four, human oversight always. AI assists, humans decide. Train your people through programs like our FDE Accelerator or build your own. But make sure they understand. Review everything, trust nothing blindly. You own the outcomes. Takeaway five, leadership drives adoption. Model the behavior, celebrate wins, address fear directly, create psychological safety for experimentation. If leadership doesn't lead, AI adoption becomes an IT project that nobody cares about, and those always fail. Do these five things and you'll succeed with AI. Skip any of them and you'll struggle, waste money, and eventually hire a consultant like me to fix it. Better to just do it right the first time. So if you want help with any of this, readiness assessments, phased implementation, security and compliance, training programs, or just someone to talk to through your specific situation, we'd love to help. My contact info is on the final screen. We offer three free 30-minute consultations where you can discuss your challenges and figure out if we're a good fit. No sales pitch, just a conversation. And here's a bonus. We're dropping a link in that chat right now to the manager's playbook we mentioned earlier, plus some other things. This playbook is a must read for your entire management team. We're preparing the latest version of our AI readiness kit as well, which will include templates, policy examples, case studies, and a review of the latest and greatest AI tools you can try out, and much more. We'll likely do another webinar in early 26, so stay tuned for announcements from our team. And Scott, I'm going to hand it back to you for Q&A.
All right, thanks, Bob. Some great information there. Hopefully that provided all you guys a good roadmap for success here. So as mentioned, we have the Q&A panel for you all to submit any questions you have. Please do so. We got a couple here that have come in, and we'll keep an eye on the Q&A panel for additional questions. First question here, Bob, is let's see, what if our CEO doesn't believe in AI?
Okay. Well, that sounds like then you might have a CEO problem, not an AI problem. Here's how to handle it. Show them what competitors are doing. and then frame it like as risk mitigation, not innovation. If we don't do this, we fall behind. It's more compelling than this is cool. So start small with your own department if possible. Um, Bring data, not enthusiasm. And CEOs, they respond to three things: competitive pressure, risk, and ROI. Use all three. If your CEO refuses after seeing evidence, honestly, update your resume because the organization is going to struggle in ways that aren't your fault, but will become your problem.
Okay. Next one. Let's see here. What's the biggest mistake you've personally made with AI?
Me? Huh. Good question. Um, yeah, early on, I assumed that because I'm technical, that I could just hand my people the AI tools and they figure it out. But it turns out that it's not how humans work. So we had low AI adoption. We had low people were confused. I it was all over the place. I was frustrated that everyone they just weren't as excited as I was. And then I realized that I was treating this like a technology rollout, and it was really a change management project. So once I shifted to focusing on people, training, communication, and addressing their fears, the adoption improved dramatically. Lesson was learned that technology is 20% of the problem. People and culture, it's 80% of the problem. So I wish I'd learned that faster, but here we are.
Okay, and last one we got here. How long until AI is figured out and we can all stop adjusting?
Never, never. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. AI is not going to go away. It's like asking when will technology be done evolving? The answer is it won't. It changes every quarter. I mean, it changes every week almost. New regulations are getting written, and competitors discover new use cases, and your workforce, they turn over. So it's continuous adaptation. But the good news is, in the first year, it starts to become routine. You're not reinventing the wheel every month. You're making incremental adjustments. But if you're waiting for the day when AI is done and you can't stop thinking about it, that day isn't coming. So you might as well get comfortable with continuous learning now.
All right. That
All
was the
right.
last question.
All right.
That's
Well,
it. Go ahead.
yeah, I want to thank again. I want to thank everyone for their time again. There's just one last thing. AI adoption, it's not about having a perfect plan. It's about starting, learning, and adjusting as you go. Companies that succeed with AI, they're the ones that start now, learn fast, and iterate. Companies that fail are the ones still planning when their companies are already optimizing. So pick one thing from day, just one, and do it this week. And that's how momentum starts. Okay. Thanks, everyone.